Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a PowerShell module developed to extract raw data from Defender for IoT sensors. And this is built out of a couple of components. So we have a GitHub private repository which has the source code. And if we look at the source code, this is basically inside the folder, there are private and public files along with the manifest file. So if we look at the private files, it has a helper file, and then going back to the public file, it has the specific files for a specific job to be done. And I'm gonna open one of the file called device events, and that has a detailed definition of the PowerShell to connect to Defender for IoT API and get the data specific to devices. Now, this PowerShell module is also published to PowerShell Gallery and can be available with this install module named D4IOT commandlet. Next thing, what we are going to do is we are going to install the PowerShell. So we have to have a PowerShell administrator console open, and we have to hit the install module button, and we will let it install, and we confirm the installation. And once we do so, basically it is going to download the module from the gallery. And by the time it downloads from the gallery, right, um, I would also like to highlight that the same commandlet can also be imported using the GitHub repo or the source code, right? So by the time this installation gets completed, I would like to open Visual Studio Code. All right, and in Visual Studio Code, there is a sample file created to basically load some variables, which is starting from a scanner host API, the IP address, and the API key, which can be derived within the scanner in Defender for IoT. And as the destination is a log analytics workspace, so we need to save the workspace ID and shared key. And we also define the custom table name where the logs are going to get ingested. In our scenario, we have D4IoT device events, right? Now, what we do at the first place is we try to run the device events command with the parameter as API key, and ignore SSL is specifically meant for a case where there is no SSL certificate binding for the sensor, and we want to give a time frame backward of 100 minutes, and we do specify our event type. These are both mandatory parameters, and we do verbose to make sure that we log in at a verbose level. Once we get the data in here, next command is going to help us to post the data to log analytics based on the customer ID and shared key provided. All right, so now we're gonna quickly confirm and see the module is installed. All right, now we have in VS Code the sample code here, and we are going to quickly run this. All right, and I would like to go line by line, and here we load all the variables. All right, and I will also call the module out of the API, and then I will quickly hover on the results. And we can see there is one result coming out of the PowerShell module. And then the next thing is going to post to the Log Analytics workspace. All right, I'm going to do that, and then it's going to make a call inside PowerShell uh, to Log Analytics. And let me go to the next part of the execution, and I see the execution is completed. Now, the next thing would be to test that if the data is successfully ingested. So with that, we will move on to the Azure Log Analytics workspace. And as you see, already I have inserted two rows, and let me run this. And we should be seeing the third row shortly because there is a little time required for the data to come from PowerShell or Defender for IoT to Log Analytics and reflect here, right? And By the time this loads, we'll quickly go back to the GitHub repository again, and I would go back to the root of the folder and would like to show you the folder, which is basically having a sample script. All right, and the sample script also helps you to understand and call the same what is demonstrated during this demo, right? So I'd request you to kindly test and let me know for any improvements. Happy to help. Thank you for listening.